I can't talk and chew bubble gum, so. Yes.
Is class until 3?
Yep, we're just gonna do a couple hours. If we need to stay longer, you can.
But we will be done by 3.
Yes.
Okay, that's all I needed.
Especially today, there's no way.
Nobody.
So you guys want to stay until 4. I don't want to stay until 4.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's so funny about it. So so much. So you, for the, just name yours and everything. Like this all night. You interview with them, and once you think you're a good fit, they'll give you 1 year. For every year, you have to break work forever. You have a guaranteed job. And then if you don't work for them, like if we move, or if I got an amazing job, that's bigger than the next person, it just becomes a world. And then you have to back to them. So because I'm doing an RN, I'm doing 2 years, I keep the regular 500 a year.
No kidding.
And also we can get money like 3,000. So I'm just working on strong up. I get a job, you break what you wanted, which is but they said that when it comes time, like they'll place you for private jobs, but you're guaranteed a job, which is good for a year. But it's Board of Regents, and it was spring and fall enrollment, and you guys should all do it. Then you don't when you pick any facility. Yeah, so your facility just has to agree to back you. So like I just bigger. But like a lot of them have like elementary school. Your hospital is should not say
See, from where I live, it would be convenient for me to work at Atlanta or like Sean mentioned. You live closer to like, well, I live in Richmond, I live like halfway between.
Do they have bigger?
That might not be the reality.
And you just have to have a facility.
So Monday,
That's like elementary. I like hearing the time I asked her about it. But it's okay. Like after we have class, we can take it and then just go. We should do it. Oh, yeah. And the longer it is, I'm like.
I just don't like taking the test.
So, they say like a line like that. I think to be moderated, if it's post-operative, emergency, trauma. I don't know. And then I said, yeah, she returned it to me. Well, we're not really, well, the time I did, I was the interview, I was like, all the.
So his first rate is about. So do you want to leave that fall? End of April.
Yeah, I like that.
I'll try and have kind of like a outline.
I've already answered, like, do you know where your one questions are? So we're probably gonna like David. Once we get into it, that's where my friend were writing, and that was fine, except for when like we go to board in the house, we'll probably do more than just one place, because I wanna look at renting my dress.
Don't have to have a. I'm remembering.
Yeah, Board of Regents and school nurses are one, but Board of Nurses.
So while the smart board is working, we'll go ahead and start. I have scheduled your classes from 1 to 3. If you feel like you need to stay afterwards, then I am available to do that. But we're going to just go over the basics today. The answers for worksheet, for the pre-assignment, for worksheet 1 and worksheet 2 are on resources in Practicum 1. So you can check those. Those are basic math. And I think you conversions. Worksheet 3, we're going to talk about to see if you need help with that. But I really want to get into, what you can do is pull this big bag out of your skills bag. And I want you to take out different sizes, different types of syringes. You'll need a medicine cup. There also is a little bubble wrapped package that has 2 vials in it that have liquid. You will need to pull those out. I'm going to go over to the next room to make sure that.
Christine, how many syringes should we get out? Just one?
I want like a 3 milliliter syringe or a 3 cc syringe. I want a 1 cc syringe. I want an insulin syringe. I want a big syringe if you have like a 5 or a 10 cc syringe. You may not have a 10. Someday I'm gonna have all in the same class.
Is anybody ready to buy?
Okay, this is the pack that you should be pulling out, so that's good. And there should be medicine cups. And then there's a bubble wrap that has 2 vials in it. Don't, you might have more than 2, but I just want you to do the 2 today.
What do they say on the vial?
Well, I don't know.
Well, I don't have 2 that are together, so I'm asking.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
They're all, so it might be different. Just one will be fine.
You want the ampule or the one that we're?
Not the ampule, just the vial. No, we'll do the ampule in learning lab. And then there should be like a 1 milliliter syringe, a 3 milliliter syringe. There should be a couple of insulin syringes. Sorry.
I don't have.
Okay. So anyway, all right.
Hey, Cindy. Or
Chrissy, she doesn't
sorry.
have any of that. I have an old bag, so I don't have any of that.
Mine was an old bag too. It should be in here. It might be in your side, one of your side pockets. Huh? Oh. You what? Well, I can help you with that. Find it? Okay. Here. All right. That'll be fine. Yes.
Those have little dots on it.
Yeah, no, those are ampules. We're not doing that. We'll do those in learning lab. I don't want you flinging those glass lids all over the place. All right. Not ampule, we'll do the ampule in learning lab. We're not gonna be flinging glass all over with that ampule today. We'll do that in learning lab. So, this is the vial.
Just one of them?
Just one of them. Okay. So let's talk first about the medicine cup. You'll notice that it has different measurements on it. So I want you to find the 1 teaspoon measurement. Do y'all have like a highlighter or a Sharpie or something, or a pen? Take your pen, find the find the 1 teaspoon and draw a line over to the milliliters that it's equal to.
Yeah, because I only need
Chrissy, did you say tablespoon or teaspoon?
Teaspoon. 1 teaspoon. How many milliliters does that equal on this medicine cup? What about 201? How many milliliters is 1 teaspoon?
5.
5. So if you're working a problem where you have a dosage and what's available comes like 125 milligrams per 5 milliliters, and you come up that you're supposed to give 50 milliliters, it's probably not correct. So you have to think about that. So look at this med cap. Usually what the doctor is going to order is milligrams. And maybe it's milligrams per kilogram. So we're going to have to figure out how much the patient weighs to find out how many actual milligrams they're supposed to get for that dose. So that's what we're going to start working with. All right, let me see if my board is that, because I want to go to the problem.
All of my vials are shattered.
You know, that's just that. I'll talk to Deb. Remind me to talk to Deb. All right. All right, so those of you at 201, I'm going to be working on the whiteboard. And if you're having trouble, let me know and I'll see what I can do about it. So let's go to worksheet number, well, let's talk about worksheet number 3. That would have been in the first week's homework.
Hey, Christy,
Yes.
FYI, we cannot see what you're doing on the whiteboard at all.
Well, I haven't done anything on the whiteboard.
Well, when you do, I'm just letting you know.
Okay, okay, let me come in. Oh. Well, okay. Dang it, I may have to set up this little thing if I don't want to do it.
Can you screen share?
Oh, yes. Let me share my screen and then you will be able to see it. Thank you.
You're welcome. I didn't know if it was different.
No, it's Monday. All right, now can you see? Now can you see the screen? What I'm sharing?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's see if this works. All right. Oh, I lost the lid somewhere. I hope it's in the tray. Okay, so what questions do you have about homework number 3? This is just changing milligrams to grams and grams to milligrams and micrograms to milligrams. Did anybody have problem with this worksheet? If not, I'll just put the answers up.
I guess I have a general question
Uh-huh.
as to why we're encouraged not to use calculators.
I don't know why it says that.
Okay.
Oh, good.
My stress was like, I feel like I'm gonna hurt a patient.
No, 'cause we're
because
gonna
I'm
get-
do long division in my head.
We're gonna give you a calculator.
Cool. Okay, that helps with so much stress.
I saw that after I'd already posted it and I'm like,
Okay.
yeah. No,
That helps a lot.
please use your calculators.
Thank you. That's fine.
You're gonna use your calculators when you get in the workplace.
The pre-nursing math class discouraged using the calculators. We were not allowed to use calculators at all throughout that course.
Yeah, well, guess what? You're gonna get to use calculators. So if you have a calculator, get them out because we're gonna use them.
Even on our
Even on your exam, we're gonna give you a calculator. And a couple of pencils and scratch paper. That big sigh, big breath, blow it out. Okay, so any questions on this one, conversions? Worksheet? Yes.
Hey, Christy. Can you just go over the dimensional analysis just real quick for everyone?
No, I'm gonna go over that
Well, you just asked if we had
in
questions.
very long, I am gonna talk about that a lot today.
Great.
Because dimensional analysis is what you want. I just want to know, do you want to know how to do these conversions in dimensional analysis? Because that's what, if you start using dimensional analysis, once you start using it, you'll figure out that it's the best way. So, okay, let's do the first one because I had to do it and I actually have a cheat sheet. So the question is, it's what, why did it do that? I don't know, it's sideways. So we want to know 1.23, let's see, oh, good. Liters equals how many milliliters? So with dimensional analysis, you need, what is your given quantity? Liters, yeah, 1.2, given quantity, oops, I didn't spell that right, is 1.23 liters. And then what is your wanted? Is X milliliters. Is everybody clear where we got those? 201, are you doing okay over there? I don't hear no. Okay, and then, so if it was another question, then we'd want to know the dose on hand. So we always want to start with our given quantity. which is 1.23 liters. And we're looking for how many milliliters? The bottom does not divide into the top. This is just what we're looking for. We have 1.23 liters. We want to know how many milliliters. So then we're going to multiply. So how many milliliters are in a liter? 201, are you clear where we're getting that? 1,000 milliliters? 1,000 milliliters equals 1 liter. Then you multiply across the top, and you multiply across the bottom. Well, before you do that, you can get rid of the things that you have. So what, when you multiply 1.23 times 1,000, what do you get?
1,230.
Okay, you get 1,230. And that'll be over 1. And then you divide 1 into that, and you have 1,230 milliliters. Questions? Did you get that? 201, you pick another problem on this page and we'll do it again. Did everybody, does that kind of halfway make sense? Somebody from 201, give me a problem on worksheet number 3. Hello? Number 4. Okay, so what is the given quantity?
100
Given Q is what?
100 micrograms.
100 micrograms. Do you see where we got that number? And then what is the wanted?
milligrams.
Equals how many milligrams? Does everybody agree with that? 201? Do you agree with that? Okay. All right. So what are we going to put? What's your first number that you're going to write for this equation? What?
100 micrograms.
100 micrograms. And what are we looking for? X milligrams. So what do we need to know to solve this equation?
How many micrograms in a milligram?
How many micrograms are in a milligram? So we're going to take 1 milligram. And how many micrograms are in a milligram? 1,000. Oh, every time I touch this, it does what I don't want it to do. So multiply the denominators, multiply the top. And we're going to get 100, correct? All right. And then we're going to multiply the bottom. And what's that? 1,000. And then you're going to divide it. What are you going to come up with?
1/10. 1/10 milligrams.
0.1. And that is a tenth. 0.1 milligrams. That is the 10th space. Good. 201, do you have questions? Yeah.
So the units match, they always have to match. So the microgram.
They cancel out, right?
They cancel out.
If they're diagonal, they can't.
If they're diagonal, they cancel out.
Can we set it up?
But if you set it up this way, then you're gonna get a wrong answer. If you put 1,000 milligrams up here, you're gonna get a wrong answer.
So you want this to be able to cancel out.
Yes,
That's the way, insurance, that's how you want, like, check, because you want them to cancel out, and if they don't, you know, you set it up.
So you set it up by the signs, according to the signs.
well, you wanna put what your given quantity is. You always wanna start with that. What's your given quantity? That's 100 micrograms. And then what are we looking for? That's gonna go in your denominator. That's X milligrams. And then we have to figure out how we're gonna convert this. We know we're looking for milligrams, so we know that we're looking for 1 milligram equals 1,000 micrograms.
But you have to make sure that your units are crisscross.
Yeah, diagonal.
Yeah.
Because if you set it up wrong, what happens if you multiply 100 times 1,000?
You're gonna get like a million.
Yeah, you're gonna get like 1,000,000 or something like that. And that would not be,
So the smaller the number, that's what you're looking for.
You're
Well,
making sense in my head.
yeah, what are we asking you to find? This is, okay, what are we looking for? We're looking for milligrams. That's gonna go there. And then your conversion is gonna go on the bottom, because that's what you have. Let's do another one. Let's go to number 5. So what is, oh no, yeah, that's right. Number 5, what's your given quantity?
3.753.
Oh. I'm gonna start writing with my hand. 3.75 grams. And what is our wanted quantity? Milligrams. So how are we going to set this up? What's your given quantity?
3.75 grams.
3.75 grams. And then the wanted quantity? Milligrams. So we want to know, we know that there's 1,000 milligrams in 1 gram, correct? Those of you over there, if I'm in your way, please tell me. So then you're going to multiply. And what are you going to get? 3,000, well, we're going to go this way first. And then 1. And then, so that's going to be 3,750 milligrams. (201), are you guys doing okay?
Yes.
Yes? No? How about you guys in here? Is it making more sense? Is it making more sense now? Okay, is there another one that you want to do on this worksheet?
Should we do number 6 or 7?
Yeah, they're a little different.
They're
Oh.
inches to centimeters and then kilograms to pounds.
Yeah.
So they're a little different.
Yes, we can.
Thank you.
Because that's what I'm here for, to work these problems on the board together with you guys so that you understand, so that when you go to the test, you'll understand how to do these. Okay, let's start with number 6. Oops, I didn't raise everything. So we're going to do number 6. So what is our given quantity? 7.62 centimeters. And what do we want to know? What's our wanted?
X inches.
Inches. All right. Whoa, shoot. How are we going to set this up?
7.62 centimeters over X inches.
Okay, 7.62 centimeter over X inches. Okay, 1 inch equals 2.54 centimeters. I have to look, make sure that I'm saying that right. It's 2.54 centimeters. So that's what we're going to use. If you have a problem with inches to centimeters or centimeters to inches, you need to use 1 inch equals 2.54 centimeters. Okay, so let's cancel out. Okay, so what do you get?
7.62 over 2.54x.
7.62 over 2.54x. Does everybody see where we got that? 201, are you guys okay?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right, so then what do you get? 3?
Yes.
3 inches.
3 inches. Are y'all okay with that? Here's what I'm going to say. Questions like these, inches to centimeters or centimeters to inches, will be the easy one on your test, right?
I have kind of a random question,
Yeah.
kind of a broad question. Is there any way to get like a table of all the different, like 2.2 pounds, the kilogram, like all the things we need to memorize?
They're in resources.
Okay, good.
Under
So there
dosage-
won't be any surprises.
Under dosage count, there are tables in there
Perfect, okay.
that you need to look at so that you can get those all in your head. Because you're going to need to know how many milligrams per gram, 1 gram, how many micrograms per milligram, things like that. But yes, before we leave today, I'll pull up resources and I'll find them. Okay, 201, are you okay with this one? And then we'll go to number 7. Do you want to do number 7 or number 8?
8.
Okay, 8. We'll do number 8. Okay, number 8. So what is your given quantity? 48 pounds. And what's your wanted? How many kilograms? All right. So how are you going to set this up?
Kilograms on top and, oh, we already did that.
How are you going to set this up?
48 pounds over X.
48 pounds over X kilograms. Okay, so what's your conversion?
2 kilograms over now.
Yeah, it should be. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. No, it's 1 kilogram over 2.2 pounds. so we're gonna cancel out. What are you gonna get for your top?
48,
All right, and what about your bottom?
2.2.
2.2. What are you gonna come up with?
21.82 pounds if you're gonna round up to the,
Okay, 21.82, if you're rounding up, what's
otherwise it's 81 repeating.
81 repeating?
Yeah.
Okay, so you could leave that too.
Christy, what do you want us to round to?
We probably are gonna tell you to round to the nearest 10th. So in that case, what would you use?
21.8.
Yeah, 21.8.
It's not stated. Should we assume it's to the 10th or not?
I'm gonna go through the exams and make sure it's, each question says what to round to.
Awesome, that'd be great. Thank you.
Nearest 10th is 21.8. Or if it says, what are you gonna do if it says round to the whole number?
22.
So do you understand what we're doing here? So it says, and make sure you read those really good. I'll have them bolded. Nearest 10th, sometimes we'll have you round to the nearest 100th. Sometimes we'll have you round to a whole number. So make sure you read the instructions. It's good that you can do the math, but we want you to be able to round correctly. Okay, anything else on this one? You should be able to do these. All right. So the other thing that you're going to have to read is labels. So let's look on homework number 4, worksheet homework number 4. We're going to look at the very first one. I don't know why it says you're encouraged not to use calculators, because you're going to use them. And when I worked and I was figuring dosage calc, I used a calculator. Math was not my strong point. So I was not going to rely on my longhand.
Anxiety level down quite a bit.
Good.
Thank you for that.
Yes, and so you're going to be able to use calculators. I think there was a point in time when you couldn't, but not anymore. You get a calculator. We give you a calculator. Okay, so I'm going to draw a label here.
Looks great.
And this one, up here in the corner, it says 6.25 milligrams. And then it has an NDC number. Oh, darn it. This is the first time I've actually used this, so bear with me. An NDC number, and that just, it's from the national database. That's good. It needs to have an NDC number. And then it's going to have the name. This is actually a brand name. That means that's the name that the company, that's what the company that made it called it. On NCLEX and on our exams, you're going to need to know the generic. And this generic is carvedilol. The reason that the NCLEX went to generic is because our sister nurses in Canada are taking the exam. People all over the world are taking this exam. And we had to make it to where we were using generic so that everybody would know what it was. And then down below that, it says how it's supplied. 100, there's 100 tabs in the bottle. And it should say on here somewhere how many each, and then it says over here on the side that each tab contains 6.25 milligrams. Do y'all see where that's at? I'm going to run across next door. Oh, it's not going to write on.
Oh, okay.
And make sure that they're finding it. So are you finding all this information?
Their names are way more popular.
Okay. 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 Please holler at me. Come up to the mic and scream at me if you're not.
One patient might be prescribed for.
Yeah, we'll minimize. Okay. So, all right. So you're doing okay. All right.
I think how many tablets are. Yeah, I just write that stuff. Did you already do this? Would it be 6.25 milligrams over 1 times?
So that's the label. Sometimes it's going to look a little different.
Yes.
It might say, if this was a liquid, it comes in a powder, and it's going to tell you to mix vial, or it'll say reconstitute. Let's use medical terms here. Reconstitute vial with 3 milliliters of normal saline. And then it's going to give you another table that's going to tell you that 1 mil is going to equal 3.125 and 2 mils is going to equal 6.25 and so on and so forth. You don't look at this, the 3 milliliters of normal saline. That does not go in your formula. You're gonna see that. So what you want to know is how many milliliters of the Coreg are we going to get, or the carvedilol. All right, let me erase this and we'll go back to.
Maybe in some of the homework that you posted that's due in a week or two.
Yeah.
There are a couple of those that have concentrations. Maybe go over one of those
Okay, yeah, I think I have those.
and then do a tablet one as well.
I'm going to do this one. So Coreg, carvedilol, and this is 1 tab equals 6.25 milligrams. So what we want to know is what's the given quantity? Now look at your order. What's your order? 12.5 milligrams. And what do you want to know? How many tablets? Get out of you guys' way. All right. So then what do you know that you have? Okay. So you have 1 tab is 6.25 milligrams. So then we want to go ahead and cancel out. All right, multiply across the top. 12.5 over 6.25x, right? And then what do you get? 2 tabs. Does that seem like an unreasonable amount of medication to give to a patient?
No.
No. If you did 12.5 times 6.25, what do you get?
Way too much. Over 100.
It's over 100?
It's like 78.
78.
Yeah, it is.
So if you come up with the answer 78 tablets, do you think that's would be a normal dosage that we would give to a patient?
No.
No. So when you're doing these problems, think about how many tablets would be appropriate to give, or how many milliliters would be appropriate to give to the patient with this dosage. Because if you get this number, you might need to go back and look and see how you set your problem up.
So when doing the dimensional analysis, you start with what's ordered.
Yes,
and
that's
you put
that's
what
your
you
give
have.
that's your given quantity.
Ordered is given quantity, and what you have on hand goes next.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, you want the ordered quantity, the given quantity, and then you want to know what do we want to find underneath that. That's your denominator. And then what do we have on hand? We have 1 tablet and it's 6.25 milligrams. We're looking for tabs.
So Christine, this is one of the questions is what is the concentration? Is that just 6.25 milligrams per tablet?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that what it asks?
It does.
Yeah, it asks for a concentration and then the DA.
Yes, the concentration is 6.25 milligrams. And then the dimensional analysis. So this is the concentration of what's available.
So will you require us to use the dimensional analysis even if we get the right answer and show our work?
We are going to highly encourage you to use the dimensional analysis. Yes.
So if I write like dimensional analysis, but write it just a little differently than that, are you okay? Because I know some teachers are very specific as you have to have each thing.
I just want you to get the right answer.
Okay.
We're going to have you show your work so that if you get the wrong answer, we can help you figure out why you got the wrong answer.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, or something like that. Yeah.
Do what?
Well, like when I write like what I need, and I don't write it over anything, and then I multiply it by the fraction, if that makes sense. So it's not like I'm writing the 12.5 over the tablet.
Okay.
I just write 12.5 times. And then
Yeah, that's fine. As long as you get, you can, however you can set it up, as long as you get the correct answer, we're okay. Here, I get a, okay, those of you at 201, what questions do you have? Did you hear that? You can write your dimensional equation analysis a little different. If you don't want to put the X tabs or X mil underneath what's the ordered, the given quantity, as long as you get the correct answer, I'm okay with that. I am not really looking, I'm looking for the correct answer, but if you show your work so that we can help you if you get the wrong answer. All right, you want to do another one?
The next one has a conversion too.
Okay, before we do it, go take a 10-minute break. So did I tell you if you have broken vials, send me an email? Okay.
Hey Christy, is brand name and trade name the same thing?
Yes, brand name and trade name are the same thing. Brand and then generic. There's generic and then there's brand name or trade.
Cool.
Yeah.
I know I need to. That comes later, once I find.
No, because you need what's on the label.
This is what's ordered, 500. And then this is the conversion, 1,000 fees, and then I come up with 0.5. And so I know I would now that I need tablets.
Okay.
500. But which way is the better way to do it? 0.5.
You have to have what's ordered in your equation.
Okay, so this is the better way.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Maybe we're.
Okay, that's the plan.
Like 1,000, like 1,000 micrograms.
Yeah.
So 500 micrograms.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So like here it's concentration.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
So let's talk about diluent. What was the other concentration? That's all right. I gave you too many papers because I didn't know what we would get through together. But I think we're going to work on dimensional analysis. Yeah, because you said something different.
What you have.
Yeah, we're gonna work on the infusion time. That's concentration. Let's see. Trade. Oh, yeah.
Do we just put these on here with you?
The broken ones? We might hang on to them at the end. We'll take them into the Sim hospital and put them in a sharps container. Let me do some.
Yeah.
Did you find the other one?
No, I'm still looking, sorry.
Okay.
So, this is homework. I put it on all this stuff. Dosage strength.
That'd be the concentration.
So just so that we kind of.
talk about it. Units equals dosage of insulin. What?
But now I'm beginning to talk about.
Yeah, we're gonna, I'll do that.
I'm not thinking about that.
Any other terms? Because that's good.
I think that there's this thing going on.
Yeah. Oh.
I tried watching.
Christie wanted us to upload those documents when you show up for reading, correct?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you the points. I just want to look at them to make sure that you are understanding. I just want to see that you're trying. I'm going to glance through them and make sure you're understanding. So we're going to go over these a lot before you take your first test. And when we start doing medication administration, we'll be using dosage calculation.
That's actually one question. You want to take a picture of the front back?
I'll let you know. Remind me to talk about that when we start up again, so that I can talk to everybody.
Oh, yeah. I did. I didn't recall
Oh, did you find them? Huh? Oh, good.
Number one.
Okay. Let's start again, so we can get through some more of these. And you know, here's what I'm going to tell you. We'll do this as many class time periods as we need to, so that you all understand it before you go to the first test. And probably the last class time before the first test, I will give you, it'll be an in-class quiz that'll be very similar to that first exam. So you'll know exactly what's on it. Okay? All right. The other thing that I want to tell you, I do want you to upload your documents. You can either scan them and upload them or take a picture of them. If you're taking pictures, take a picture of the first sheet and the last sheet. I just need to know that you're working the problems, and I want to look through and make sure that you're understanding them. I'm going to give you the points just for attempting to work the problems, okay? I'm not looking for correct answers, but I do want to know, because if somebody missed something, I'll pull that one out, and then I'll see how many others of you had trouble with it. And that's something that I'll go over next class period. I just want you to turn in week 1. So that's the documents 1, 2, 3, and 4.
The last thing, you might have talked about this.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about,
Okay, cool.
I'm going to talk about these.
Okay, thank you.
So there are some other terminology that we probably need to talk about that somebody brought up, and I'm really glad you did. Diluent is actually whatever liquid you're going to use to reconstitute a powder, whether it's normal saline or dextrose or whatever it is. Yeah, if you want to take a picture of the board, that's fine. Concentration and dosage strength are the same thing. It's whatever dosage is in 1 unit or in the unit, in the tablets and the milliliters, whatever. Trade name and brand name are the same. That is what the company that manufactured them calls their medication. But there's always a generic, and you need to know the generic. Units. Usually you'll see that as a dosage for insulin, heparin. Those are the 2 that I can think of that come in units. They don't measure the same as milliliters. So here's what I want you to do. You have an insulin syringe. It should say BD, I don't know, we may have checked, BD Safety Glide insulin that has an orange cap on. Go ahead and open it up.
My BB safety 1 mil has a gray cap.
That's a 1 mil. That's a tuberculin syringe.
Okay.
The insulin, it should say insulin, and it's orange. Don't take the lid off, because I want you to preserve your needles. And go ahead and open up that 1 milliliter syringe that has a gray cap. Yeah. Because here's what I want you to do. The gray is 1 mil. The whole syringe equals 1 milliliter. The insulin syringe I have is a 50 unit. If you are giving insulin, use an insulin syringe. Because what I want you to do, be very careful. The needles on these are very small. They're very delicate. But if you have a vial of liquid, and I have some vials up here if people need them, I want you to draw up the 50 mil. And then I want you to put it in the med cup. And then I want you to draw it up in your 1 mil. We call this a tuberculin syringe, the 1 milliliter syringe. because I want you to be able to compare them, to see that they are different. All right, I'm going next door. Yeah, I want you to draw up 50 units. Put it in a med cup and then draw it up with your windmills. All right. One milliliter. And then I want you to take your vial, take these lids off. Be very careful, they're very delicate needles. And then I want you to get your vial, and I want you to draw 50 units.
And then draw it
Here's
up.
one grid, off 50 units.
I think she's making the point that 50 units is not the same as one.
And don't circle.
The gray one, you're just sucking up what you put in with the orange.
Turn it upside down. And draw 50 units. Squirt it into your med cup. And then draw up that amount in your 1 ml syringe. So you can see how many milliliters is 50 units to see that they're not the same. If you say 50 units of insulin, it can be used a milliliter syringe. If you say 50 milliliters of insulin, you're going to kill your patient.
What I did was I pulled 50 and I put it in the back and I drew it up.
You have 2 units of insulin, and you take 2 milliliters. It would still.
And then use this syringe. to
Okay,
suck
so
it out of the cup.
then use your syringe to pull that up.
Now you have to go ahead and reach out if you're gonna have to use it for medicine. No, I want you to draw up what's in your cup. Draw up what's in your cup.
And you're gonna pull the plug for that. Yeah. Oh, but I mean, there is air. That's what I got the air plug back first. Put it in. Yeah, you need some air in there.
What'd you get in your, what'd you get in milliliters for 50 units?
So the point is, if you use the word syringe, you're gonna actually. So then, yeah, we got.
So 50 units is 0.5, so it doesn't equal, so don't use one syringe for your insulin. Always use your insulin. So, did you find is 1 milliliter and 50 units the same?
No.
No. So you have to be really careful. If you have to give 2 units of regular insulin, and sometimes you do, 2 units of regular insulin, and you give them 2 milliliters of regular insulin, you're going to kill your patient or throw them into severe hypoglycemia. So if insulin is ordered, always use an insulin syringe.
Our insulin syringe is always orange.
No,
Okay. But
That's
it will
what I-
say, it will on the package that
it will say insulin syringe,
Okay,
and
cool.
it will say units.
Okay.
Just a word to the wise, I know at our hospital, we have some syringes that we got rid of them, but on one side it had mLs, on the other side it had units. So,
Yeah, I hope they got rid of them because that's dangerous.
so just be aware of that. in case you auto check your mLs or.
Yeah, this 1 milliliter syringe is really nice. If you are giving, like morphine, will come 10 milligrams per milliliter, and you're only giving 5 milligrams, then you can draw up 0.5 milliliters of morphine to give to your patient.
Would you need a document that you, I mean, I realize the emergency thing, but like, do you have to document that we did that or?
You're gonna document that you gave 5
Right,
milligrams.
but it doesn't matter like what's the syringe, as long as we're giving the right amount.
Yeah, as long as yeah, you don't have to document the syringe. Now, if I was a nursing instructor and we were giving you insulin, I'd be asking, okay, what kind of a syringe do you have? But to document it, no.
Okay, that's curious.
Now, it's one of those cover your butts that if it
Right.
goes to court, you can say, see, I said I gave it an insulin syringe.
Christy,
Yes,
can you explain, like, because when you get insulin syringes, they're gonna come and they're gonna say U40 or U100. Can you explain what that means?
okay, yes. So the insulins, the majority of hospital facilities are using insulin pens. Thank the Lord. And that's what,
It's a big pin.
it's a big pin and you dial the number of units.
Okay, you turn the number. to
Yeah,
1.
when we do med administration, we'll show you those.
Okay, cool.
But it, sometimes you will still be drawing up maybe regular insulin. Most of it's going to come in pens. And thank the Lord that most of our older people, that if they have to give themselves insulin at home, they're doing the insulin pens and not trying to draw up five units or 2 units that they can't see anyway. So anyway, but if you have to do it, some of the vials will tell you that it's so much insulin at U100. And then you go to find the U100 insulin syringe. I wish I had one of those, but I don't.
Are patients allowed to self-administer insulin when being hospitalized?
That's up to the facility.
If you're doing education and they're
Yeah.
showing you how to administer.
There are some that are new patients, but here's the deal. Most of our patients that are giving themselves insulin at home are doing the abdomen because that's the easy area for them. So if they're in the hospital, we want to give it at a site that they can't use, like the back of the arm. So we want to give that a rest because they might use that 4 times a day. So it's up to the facility. So you're going to have to look at facility policy. Most people are going to be okay with you doing it. Okay, we'll talk about more about these, but I wanted to show you, and I'm so glad that we brought this up. Units usually does not equal milliliters, especially when we're talking about insulin or heparin. The heparin usually comes in milliliters, so, but there are other things that come in units. We'll find. Okay. Did everybody get a picture of this if they wanted it? Because I'm getting ready to erase it. All right. And I believe that we're recording this session, so that'll be good. Is there anything else, wording that we need to talk about before we go on with dimensional analysis? Okay. So,
What's the do not use abbreviations?
do not use abbreviations. Does somebody have a list of those?
I don't know. That's
Trying
fine.
to find those lists.
The Joint Commission has them posted.
Yeah, here, let me write myself a note and I will find those and I will send them to you.
Christy,
Yes,
gave them to us before we started the program.
do what?
Gave them to us before we started the program. On the.
I sent them to you before you started the program. I'll send them again
Thank you.
because that was probably like a long time ago. Because there are abbreviations that we no longer use. In today's world of computer order entry, you will actually be able to read what the doctor actually ordered and not try to look at their chicken scratches and hen pecks. I had one physician I worked with, we actually turned his charts upside down so we could read his orders. How safe was that? There was one time we couldn't read it at all, and I handed it back to him and I said, I don't know what this says. What do you want me to do? And he looked at it and he says, I have no idea. So I know that the physicians didn't like it to begin with, but I really like the computer order entry because that makes sure that we know exactly what they've said and we can make sure that what we're doing is safe.
I got the list for that from Joint Commission. It says don't use the little u or capital U for you.
Yep, don't use you. Oh, good grief. What in the world is that? Units. Write out units. Don't use you or you.
What's the difference between international unit and unit? It says I don't use IU, write out international unit.
Yeah, that's the like the world conversion. There's like for warfarin, there's a lab measurement. It's an INR. It's an international something. And we do use INR, but don't use international units, but we don't see that much.
And it says QD, QOD.
Yeah, I'll send those out to you so you can look at it. You should write them out. So if you have a patient that, let's say we're charting, and it was a patient that had, you were giving pain medicine to, you'd want to write patient, and don't use this, CO for complaint of, write it out. If you write it out, then, because here's the deal. Pain, 8 out of 10 on pain scale. And it'd look a lot nicer because you're typing. Morphine, 8 milligrams given IV push as ordered for severe pain. Here's the deal. I've been to court once. It wasn't me that was on trial. Just make that clear. It was the physician. But they pulled up, and I was back in the days of hand charting, and they pull your chart up on a big old screen for the whole courtroom to see. So they tell you not to double chart. If you double chart, make sure you're charting the same thing. But I'm okay with double charting. If you're going in and marking, maybe there's a separate pain sheet that you're marking that they have an 8 out of 10 and how they're rating it and all that, that's fine. But if you give medication for it, write it out again, do it again. Every time you go in to assess your patient, if you're going in every 2 hours you need to write something in your chart about what that patient's doing. Because if something happens to that patient and they pull your chart up and it says, well, you went in and saw them at 8 o'clock in the morning, but you don't chart anything again until 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and something happened to them at 3 or 2, well, you didn't go in and check on them. So make sure you chart and chart it out in full sentences. Don't use text speak. Make sure you spell correctly.
So you're saying check their pain every time that you can, pretty much, or every couple of hours?
Yeah, every couple hours. You should be going in every hour. You'll be doing that when you go to clinical.
Okay.
Making hourly rounds, and there's 5 P's: pain,
Paralysis, paresthesia, and pallor.
No, that's not the 5 Ps on when you're doing.
I was like, I had this down here.
Yeah, that's good though. But it's checking the pain, it's potty, do they need to go to the bathroom? Position, they need to be turned, possessions. And I can't remember the 5th one. But anyway, it's in your clinical notebook. There's the 5 Ps that you check in every hour when you check your patient.
I'm so disappointed. I was so ready for that.
But that's good. Those are the 5 Ps for circulation. So anyway, so I'm very proud of you for that. Okay, back to math. We kind of got off of the topic, but these are things that you're going to need to know. So I'm okay with that. 201, what kind of things do you want to know that we could talk about before we go back to math? If you have something, come up to the microphone so I can hear you. If not, somebody tell me you're okay. We're good. Okay. All right. All right, I'm going to erase this. And I will, I'll find that Joint Commission do not use abbreviations. They're really big on that. Joint Commission used to come in and we knew they were coming and we'd pull the charts we wanted them to see and they wouldn't see the bad charts. They don't do that anymore. You have no idea when they're coming and they look at all the charts. So you chart every day like Joint Commission is coming. All right, let's go to number 2 on worksheet 4.
For times, since we just did the tablet one, can we move on and do like?
Yes.
Can we do the number 4 since it's milliliters?
Okay, number 4. We're going to do number 4 since it's milliliters. Yes. Okay, so this one is, so you're given or ordered what is your ordered quantity? 75 milligrams. Is everybody okay with that? 201, are you all okay with that? All right. So then, what's our wanted quantity? How many milliliters? Yes. And then, what is the dose on hand?
15 milligrams per.
It's in your label.
Milligrams per milliliter.
Yes, in the label. It's 15 milligrams per milliliter. Does everybody see that? 201, do you see where we found 15 milligrams per milliliter for number 4? Somebody say yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's considered your concentration.
And that's the concentration, 15 milligrams per 1 milliliter. So now we're going to do the dimensional analysis. So what are we going to start with? 75 milligrams. And it'll be over X mil, or if you don't want to put it over that, I'm okay with that. Okay, then what do we have next?
1 milliliter over 15 milligrams.
Yes, we want to know milliliters, so we know we have 1 milliliter that has 15 milligrams of medicine in it. Good. Then we're gonna all right. What's your next equation?
75 over 15.
All right, so it'll be 75 over 15. Then what are you going to get?
5 mLs, excuse me.
5 mLs. So now take your medicine cup and shade how much you're going to give in that, pour in that medicine cup.
1 teaspoon.
All right. I'm gonna walk next door just to make sure they understand.
Oh my gosh, I know. She's gonna pick up your bed cup. But it's not really.
I was just like, I need to share, yeah.
Okay. Do y'all understand? Do y'all understand this? And what'd you find on your med cup? I guess it's on the next page.
I haven't done
Well, how many teaspoons is it? One teaspoon. Okay. Any questions? No. Is your brain getting fried?
No.
Okay, keep going. Good. I'm about to play fun. What question do you guys want to go to? Yes, you gotta pick that one. Six. Number 6, I just saw that. Let's do number 6. Okay, are y'all good? How many teaspoons are you gonna get? 1 teaspoon or 5 mils. Good. All right, we're gonna do number 6.
Oh, yeah. That was professional. What? You said that out loud. I'm sorry. Like erase that, and I was on the phone.
Okay, so number 6. What is our ordered quantity, our given quantity?
100 micrograms. Wait, I'm number 6.
Number
Oh,
6.
that's 5. I'm sorry.
I was going like,
250,000 units.
250,000. Okay, ordered. I'm gonna put ordered. The ordered dosage and the given quantity are the same thing. 250,000 units. I wrote that too tall. Okay. So what's our wanted quantity? Wanted. Okay. And then what is our dose on hand?
100,000 units per amount.
Where'd you find that?
On the label, above the name.
Okay, so our dose on hand is on the label. You'll see mycostatin, and above that it says 100,000 units per mil. Good. All right. So are units and milligrams interchangeable? No, they're not. Okay. Does everybody understand that? But units and milligrams are not interchangeable. If a medicine is ordered in units, then that's what you have to go by. You can find how many milliliters in a liquid, or you might find how many insulin units, but you can't convert them to milligrams. So let's do our equation. What's first?
250,000 units over X amount.
Okay, 250,000 units over XML, if that's how you want to do it.
Times 1 ml over 100,000 units.
Okay, so we're gonna, oh, I forgot my 1 here. 1 ml, because we're finding a milliliter, so we know we have 1 milliliter, and it has 100,000 units in it. I'm gonna cheat here, I'm gonna put a U. Okay, so does everybody understand how we got there? Okay, so what's your next equation?
To divide the 250,000 units by 100,000 units.
250,000 by 100,000. So what'd you come up with?
2.5 ml.
2.5 milliliters. Does everybody see how we got there? 201, are you doing okay?
Yeah.
All right, good.
So it's because our units cancel out, milliliters cancel out, even though I put it in milliliters, that's why it's normally.
No, because milliliters is what we want to find.
Right.
So we're going to put that on top of what's in on hand.
If you have both MLs, both numbers in front of the MLs, those two cancel out, so you know what you're looking for. Does that make sense? This equation is so much easier than I thought. When I was trying to do it on my own and watch videos for it, it just kept confusing me.
So now it's some, when we start adding in things like conversions, and it gets a little more complicated. But if you stick with the same formula and add that in, then yeah. So when we come to our dose on hand, you always want to put on top what you're looking for. We're looking for milliliters. We're looking for tablets. We're looking for milligrams, whatever. So are you guys doing okay? Hello? Okay. 201, pick the next question. Let's do number 8. I'll pick the next question. Okay. Number 8. What is ordered? 0.06 grams. And what do we want?
Milligram.
How many tablets?
2.
Well,
Oh, sorry.
so look at the label, and what is your dose on hand?
So there's 30 milligrams
In the tablet.
per 1 tablet.
Is there?
Yes.
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one. Dang it. Yes, 30 milligrams per tablet. Per 1 tablet. Okay, what's your equation?
0.06 grams over X tablets.
Okay, 0.06 grams over X tablets. What do you want to know next? What's next?
1 tab over 30 milligrams.
1 tablet over 30 milligrams. What's next?
1,000 milligrams over 1 gram.
Good. You have to do your conversion. 1,000 milligrams in 1 gram. So we're gonna all right, did everybody see why we put that 1,000 milligrams over 1 gram? 201, do you understand that? Somebody please say yes. If not, I'll talk about it. 201?
We're good.
Okay. All right, so what's your next equation then?
Would you change the 1,000
1000 times 0.06.
So what is that? 60. And then over what? 30. Reese, what's the answer?
2 tablets.
2 tablets. Does everybody get that? Here's the thing. If you don't understand, it's okay. You need to tell me so I can help. I don't want you to not understand and then go to the test and not do well because you don't understand. Everybody getting it? All right. Anything else on this worksheet? All right. So let's go to, let me pull it. Okay. So let's go to, did you print out worksheet number 5?
There's some extras up here.
We're going to add 201. We're going to go to worksheet number 5.
Take my word.
I'm not done that yet.
And if you need to go print some out, I'll give you time.
Wait, I'm
Oh.
no, just save it. This is what
Yeah.
The front of it has syringes.
Hey, let me see that second page.
This one?
That one I have. Allie.
There's 2 pages.
Yeah, or you could go print some off.
Yes, please go print some off.
You won't need.
You, and check with 201 too.
Anyone else you need?
And check with 201. If you guys want to take a 5-minute break, go take a 5-minute break while we're printing. And then we'll kind of look at the front of this and then we'll be done for today.
What answer did you get on pen?
No, that's it. I don't have it. Okay. I've lost. This is probably not the right one. Let me. I have it somewhere here. I have it for myself. There it is. Number 10. What answer did you get?
0.7 mil.
We're never getting there. Nope. So let's do it. Right. So what's your ordered dose?
800.
800 milligrams. What do we want to know?
We want to know how many, or how, it's 300 milligrams per, or
How many? It's a liquid, so we want to know how many milliliters.
Mm-hmm.
So X milliliters. And then what's on hand?
is 300
300 per what?
per 5.
300 milligrams per 5 milliliters. So what's your first equation?
See, I'm doing it completely different. I've taught myself.
Okay.
I'm doing desired over what's on hand times
Okay.
your way.
But I want you to do it
I know, just when because I've tried
because
both
I think
ways.
that's why you got the wrong answer.
Yeah. Well,
So
no, I
let's-
think
let's-
I'm just not doing, I'm not doing the final steps.
So, okay, so I'm going to do it like we've been doing it. We're going to do 800 milligrams over X mils.
Okay.
And then we know we have 5 milliliters that has 300 milligrams. And then we're gonna cancel out. And then, do you have your calculator? Go get your calculator.
800 divided by.
No, 800 times 5.
Times 5.
You multiply across the top, you multiply across the bottom, and then you divide.
Are you talking about the nurse? No, 800 times 5 is 4,000.
So 4,000, and it's gonna be over what?
4,000 over 300?
Yeah, 300 x. And then you're gonna divide 300 into 4,000.
13.3.
Yeah,
Okay, here's the thing, I think the time.
good.
Literally, like,
Does that make sense now?
and like.
Let me see how you were doing.
Yeah, no, I know. I missed the last step. So
Okay,
with mine, you're doing desired over what's on hand,
okay,
which gives you the 2.7, but then you need to take, now you have your mg, but you have to now get it into ml. So now you have to take 2.7 times 5 to get to 13. I know how to do both ways. I just, sometimes when I have too much stuff, I start
sure.
mixing it all up.
Well, be careful because I want you to do well on the test.
Yeah.
Don't mix yourself up on the test.
Okay, but I also ready for
Yeah. I may have taken that out because we're doing them in class. So
Okay, that's fine.
everybody, is it? Yeah, well, everybody will get one.
You're good.
Wonderful. I think I decided I wasn't going to have you turn them in. Just make sure that worksheet 1 and 2 you go through and check in. If y'all seem to be doing that well.
I know some of it, if I wear my mask, like today I had to make a contribution tonight. Because adding candy while I'm and then the stress, I'll be like, okay, is this like green protector or like?
Yep.
So for this question here, it says total dosage strength of this vial. So does that mean the concentration of everything in the vial?
Which question is that?
This is on homework 6, number 2.
Number 2.
So equivalent to 1 gram of Vanco. So that's 250 per 5 mil.
That is the total dosage strength of this vial. So what did you say it was?
So I would think it would be that.
Yes.
And
that's
so
correct.
if it's 250 per 5 mil, that
Uh-huh.
means there's 20 mils in there. Because when you reconstitute it,
They should tell you. what to
20
reconstitute.
mils.
Yep.
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure I was
Yep.
reading that right.
You
Okay,
did.
thank
Good job.
Warm in here.
Yeah.
I'm just, wow.
No, it is
This
warm in
morning I was freezing.
You would be putting that one on today, too.
I knew it was at 3:15, maybe or right at 3 o'clock.
Okay,
Yeah.
just real quick.
Yeah.
You did 1.3. If you just like draw that across there, oh, what is your big old arrow? Right? Yeah. Two tabs, that's right. That is totally 0.05.
Huh?
And then the printer was
That's all right.
You do one too. Okay, I'll go get one. Yeah. Right, and then I get myself. So for the first year, generally, the like. I'm trying to say, this is like the math that we're gonna be doing, or does it get harder?
Things will be added on. You're going to be figuring like IV, like you have 1,000 milliliters and it's running at 75 mils per hour. How long is it going to take? And things like that. But then once you get into third semester, then you're going to be doing drip rates, and semester gets adds a little more. But you use the same calculation.
Hey, Christy, are you gonna open up the assignment where you upload the worksheet?
Actually, for the first week's worksheets, since we're doing most of them in class, I'm just gonna give you the credit for them. And you don't have to upload them.
So the 5 to 7, we don't have to upload either.
I don't know, how is it? Probably not, because we're gonna do most of them in class. Okay, let's kind of go through this. So this first worksheet, worksheet number 5, what it's asking you to do, and you have your 1 mil syringe.
Hey, Christy.
Yeah.
I printed out a bunch of copies, but we're still going through and picking them all up, so we don't all have our copies.
Okay, all right, tell me when you're ready.
Okay, thank you.
Christy, I have a random learning lab question.
Okay.
You're priming the tool, do you let the water go to the, like, the end of the side, or do you let water go all the way through?
You want water to come out.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you
Okay,
clamp it off.
thank you.
Because if you don't get all of the air out, then you'll put air into their colon and they're already gonna have trouble with it. Yeah, you got to let it all around here, because there's several holes in the bottom of that tube. But that's a great question. How are you doing over at 201? So this is a 1.
Hey, Christy.
Yeah.
I was wondering, you said you wanted us to upload our worksheets that we're doing today, but I didn't see where to.
No, yeah, okay. So evidently I took out the upload feature. I'm going to give you credit for those because I'm working on them in class. We're working on them together in class. If you want me to open it up as an upload so I can look at your work, just let me know and I'll do that.
Okay, sounds good.
But I won't count you off if you don't upload your stuff.
Okay, thanks.
Yes. Okay, are you guys until 1 ready to go?
Is there enough worksheets up there, guys?
So I want you it's talking about the very first question on worksheet number 5 is talking about the tuberculin syringe, the 1 ml syringe. And it wants to know how many, each calibration, how many milliliters is each of the calibrations on the syringe.
0.01.
Do what?
0.01.
0.01. Each of these marks on the tuberculin syringe is 0.01. So then the next question, and you can look at that and look on your syringe and you can see how, just be careful if you take this lid off, I'll probably poke myself. You can see that you can count each calibration. So when it starts, the first one is 0.01, and you have 0.02, 0.03, 0.04, and then it says 0.05. Oh, no, it doesn't say that. It goes to 0.1. There's always 10 spaces in between each one. Does that make sense?
So on the 1 ml syringe, the lowest line,
The bottom line?
you said was 0.01?
No, up at the top. Oh, it says 0.01. Up here at the top. If you look at your syringe, it'll say 0.01. Or 0.1, I'm sorry. And there's 10 spaces in between them because each mark is 0.01.
So your 0.1 is the bottom of the syringe.
No, it's up by the needle.
Yeah, but you got 0.1 at the very bottom.
Well, it's in the middle. It's up towards the needle. I was just making it bigger to view. So if you look at your needle, you look at your syringe, you should be able to count the marks. There should be 10 marks to 0.1. And then there's going to be 10 marks between 0.1 and 0.2 because each one of these lines is 0.01. Is that clear as mud now? This is the needle. Because down here is going to be 1 ml.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. The bigger is the bottom.
And then there's gonna be 10 lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that's 0.2. Does that help? 201, did that help? So the next question, each calibration indicating the lowest measurable dose on a, okay, so now we're gonna look at the 3 milliliter syringe. So this is the needle, 3 ml. And you can see these on the syringes on the, that are labeled on the page. So this is the needle. The hub.
Zero or 0.01 be the first measurable one, or be that line above it?
It's
Nothing.
the lowest measurable dose. So it has, it's not the first line,
0.1.
0.1, that's correct. 0.1. And it's got 2, 3, 4, and then it tells you a half or 0.5. 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 1 mil. 3. Y'all see that?
Yeah.
Is that clear as mud? You don't have a 10 milliliter syringe? Is there one on here?
There's a 10 milliliter.
Oh, you have a 10 mil in your bag? Okay, so look at your 10 mil, and they want to know what is the lowest measurable dose on the 10 mil syringe. Nope. Look on, let's see here. Well, there's not a 10. So a 10, oh, good grief. A 10 is gonna go, that's your needle. Your 10 is gonna go by twos, 0.2, 0.4, 0.6, up into 1 mil. Did you find a 10 milliliter? Let me not just throw that at you guys. Dart you. Okay, yeah, can I see that?
Yes, it's not open yet, just open it.
No, I don't want to open it.
Okay.
So on the 10, well, maybe I do. And this will be the last thing that we do. Okay, so on the 10, it starts out, you'll get to 1, but each of the little hashtag lines are going to be 0.2. And there's 4 lines before you get to the first 1 mil. Thank you.
Yes.
201, did you find that? And then the lowest measurable dose on the 20 mil is going to be 1 mil. I'll remind me to show you one when we go to Learning Lab. So I want you to take this home and do it. Work on the worksheets 5, 6, and 7, and we'll work on them in class next week. Thanks for hanging in there. You guys have been good. I think that you're really getting it, which makes me very happy. Does it help for me to work this with you?
Yes.
And to see the syringes and the med caps? Be careful. Okay. I'm going to talk to 201. Oh, I'm sorry.
And is it helpful for me? Next time I'm gonna see him here. Next time. I'm gonna switch rooms, but I gotta get this. Is it helpful to be able to look at your syringes and your med cups and then for us to work these problems together? Okay. All right.
Yeah, if you want us to do it, the liquid. Because you had us put it in the medicine cup.
Just pour it out. Okay. Okay. I am going to close this down on here.
Yeah, but I have to be really on the first day, we should figure out. I'm almost wondering if I should have told her maybe. I'm here. I don't remember that. Yeah, it changed. I feel like now, because I feel like if we do that, if we did Garnett, we're gonna be there. Like 5:30. What? I don't even think it's about it. I think from Garnett it's like 50 minutes. Wait, it said, I Googled it. From Garnett to, was how many minutes?
Are you taking Colony back onto the highway?
No. I went around and I went straight off the Lone Elm curve and I took that road until it heaves and came back out because it drops you off almost at.
It's like 32